Hey everybody, it's John Carlo from the Story King podcast. Today's another edition of Tuesday Tips, and I wanted to talk about something I learned from Robert McGee's book Story, and that's identifying the primary value at stake in your story. And basically, there's four components to every value in your story, and they go through the positive, contradictory, contrary, and then there's the negation of the negation, which you could think of as sort of the worst of the worst. And every story should move through all of those throughout the story. So I'll give you an example of how this works. If your primary value is justice, for example, justice would be the positive end of the value. Contradictory would be injustice. Unfairness would be the contrary part of that value. And then the negation of the negation, the worst of the worst, is tyranny. Okay, I'll give you an example, another example. So let's say you have truth as the positive end of your primary value in the story. So the contradictory would be lies. The contrary would be white lies or half-truths, and then the negation of the negation would be self-deception. So that's just an example, and you can kind of change that. These are flexible things. But I find this really helpful when I'm writing stories, that if I think of what's the primary value of the story, and then I go through the positive, the contradictory, the contrary, and the negation of the negation, then I have something to work with when I'm writing my story. I have these themes to go along with, and I make sure that my story explores each of those elements of the primary value.